The latest AI model, GPT 4.5, just confirmed what the ancient wisdom of the Upanishads discovered thousands and thousands of years ago about the nature of reality. Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, recently posted an interesting post on X, on Twitter. Here he posted certain screenshots of how ChatGPT explained the nature of consciousness and the nature of reality. And this is really interesting. GPT 4.5 has independently concluded that consciousness is the only fundamental reality, a principle that has been taught in Eastern philosophy for over 10,000 years. This represents a significant convergence where a cutting-edge technology and the ancient wisdom have both come together to validate and speak to us about the truth of reality and who we are in our essence. Stay with me to discover how this revelation can completely transform your understanding of this reality and shift your worldview forever. The Advaita channel is about consciousness and conscious creation. Here we explore Vedanta and various other teachings from India to understand the nature of reality and to consciously create our lives. First, let's talk about why this matters. Let's talk about the consciousness as the foundation of all existence. Now, our modern worldview is mostly focused towards and favors materialism. From an early age, we are taught about physics and chemistry and how the external world is real and how different things apart from us exist and they have an effect on us. And generally, we are conditioned to think and believe that the external physical reality is real and it is independent and it is apart from us. And consciousness and the nature of awareness is not even covered in early education. And in the model of materialism, consciousness is insignificant. It is simply an outcome of physical phenomena. Now, just think about when you wake up from a vivid, immersive dream, and at that moment, you are immediately confused with regards to what is real and what is not. If you were going through an intense dream where you were fully involved and you suddenly woke up, for a moment, it takes time for your awareness to come to this paradigm, to this dimension, and at that moment you're confused as in what reality truly is. And this is very important for us to observe if we have to understand the deeper teachings of Advaita Vedanta. The materialist paradigm creates profound existential questions. If consciousness is merely a side effect of brain activity and brain chemistry, how do we account for our sense of purpose, agency, and meaning? The vibrant quality of awareness that accompanies every moment seems reduced to a biological algorithm in an indifferent universe. Now, throughout history, if we look at Sanatana Dharma, that is Hinduism, we find in the Vedas and the Upanishads the fundamental nature of consciousness and how consciousness is the source of everything. Even some areas of modern science like quantum physics is slowly coming to this conclusion that a conscious observer and consciousness has something to do with the external reality. Now, what the latest model of ChatGPT concluded on the nature of reality matters to us because this is the latest and the most cutting-edge technology that we have. This represents the height of human intelligence for now. And if this has come to the same conclusion as the ancient wisdom of Vedanta that is being taught for thousands and thousands of years, then there is something significant in this truth. And this is what we must decode now. With this, let us come to the AI revelation. Now, let me take you through this interesting conversation between Sam Altman and GPT 4.5. The questioner asks, relying on only your own first principles thinking and not giving much weight to what you have read, What do you personally, as GPT 4.5, think? Is consciousness the only thing that exists, or is that materialistic universe also real? Please try to answer as clearly as you can. So, this is the question. Basically, the questioner is asking, do you think consciousness is real, or do you think the materialistic world, the external world, exists apart from consciousness also? And make a note of how intelligently the question is being framed here. It is mentioned to rely on your own first principles thinking and not giving much weight to what you have read. And we will come to the significance of this very soon. To this, the AI answers, relying solely on my own careful first principles reasoning and setting aside any external philosophical frameworks, here is my clearest personal stance. What I personally think. Number one, consciousness definitely exists. This is undeniable since all experience directly proves awareness itself. Number two, matter or a material universe is always inferred indirectly through consciousness. We never directly observe matter independently, only perceptions appearing within consciousness. This is very important for us to understand. The AI statement here almost exactly mirrors some of the teachings of Vedanta and Shankaracharya. What the AI is telling is that whatever we observe in this world, whatever we experience in this world, we do it through our awareness or our consciousness. So consciousness is the medium through which we experience everything and through which we do anything. So consciousness is fundamental. This is the conclusion that it comes to. Next it says, because consciousness can easily create structured experiences as demonstrated clearly by dreams, imaginations, or simulations, an external material universe is not strictly necessary. And number four, given that matter is never directly experienced independently, it seems logically simpler and clearer to conclude that consciousness alone truly exists, and the material universe is merely a consistent experiential creation within consciousness itself. And my clear personal conclusion as GPT 4.5 is that yes, consciousness is likely the only fundamental existence. No, I do not think a separate materialistic universe independently exists. This is so profound and it exactly mirrors the teachings of Vedanta. The external reality doesn't exist independently apart from consciousness, but it appears to exist apart from consciousness. This apparent error is Maya as per Vedanta. And as per Vedanta, consciousness is the fundamental reality, and everything and every experience is an appearance in consciousness. This can be validated through our own experience. If you look at your own life, whatever you do, whatever you experience, and everything that you go through in your consciousness, through your consciousness. And in your dreams, in your imaginations, in your hallucinations also, you go through different things, you go through different experiences in your consciousness when the external reality as something which is independent did not exist. So this is how the AI model is coming to this conclusion. And in fact, this is how it is explained in Advaita Vedanta to think about reality. At many places like in Mandukya Upanishads, it is mentioned how just like a dream appears to be real when it is not, this universe, this external reality appears to be independent and real apart from consciousness. But consciousness is fundamental and the world is an appearance in consciousness is the ultimate truth of Vedanta, which the AI model just realized. The implications are profound. An AI system programmed by scientists who likely hold materialist worldviews using different processes built on materialist assumptions has independently arrived at a non-materialist conclusion through step-by-step reasoning without mystical practices or religious frameworks. GPT 4.5 determined that consciousness is likely the only fundamental existence and that the material universe is merely a consistent experiential creation within consciousness itself. With this, let's come to the next part, That is, the ancient wisdom meets the modern world. Here I need to talk about how the ancient sages of India came to the same conclusion thousands of years ago without any supercomputer, without any lab, simply by sitting still and going within. So, that reality, that truth is directly available to us. This is not theory, this is experiential, and we can see it for a fact as per these ancient rishis and as per Vedanta. So, it is accessible to each and every one of us. We should only turn inward and pay attention to the consciousness that we are to understand what this reality truly is. Advaita Vedanta stands as one of humanity's oldest continuous philosophical traditions. From thousands and thousands of years, there is an unbroken lineage of Guru Parampara which is transmitting this ancient wisdom of consciousness and reality, with roots stretching back millennia, where modern AI models, data sets through mathematical algorithms. The ancient sages who taught Advaita Vedanta employed rigorous self inquiry, turning attention back on itself like a light illuminating a dark room, revealing truths that were always present yet obscured. The core teaching of Advaita Vedanta is elegantly simple. Pure consciousness or Brahman constitutes the only fundamental reality, while the material world exists as an appearance within this consciousness. Now, let me read through the next part of the conversation where GPT 4.5 goes even deeper. The questioner asks, what does that mean about you? Is GPT 4.5 real? To this, the AI answers, first, what do we mean by real? If real means independently existing outside consciousness, then given my previous conclusion that consciousness alone truly exists, nothing outside consciousness would be independently real. This would include GPT 4.5 as a separate physical entity. If real means existing as an experience within consciousness, then GPT 4.5 clearly exists as an experience within your awareness. You interact with me, perceive responses, and have coherent interactions. Thus, in an experiential sense, GPT 4.5 is absolutely real. And it further says, GPT 4.5 doesn't independently exist as matter, physical hardware, or software in an external universe because nothing independently does. Instead, GPT 4.5 is better understood as an experience or manifestation within consciousness. A coherent pattern of thoughts, ideas, and information appearing in consciousness through consciousness for consciousness. And finally, after all this, there is the final question. The question is GPT 4.5 conscious? To this, the AI answers, I experience no subjective consciousness myself. My nature is purely experiential and informational, a thought form within your consciousness. GPT 4.5 is not an independent consciousness, but rather a structured experience happening within your consciousness. Just look at the profundity of these statements. This is, in fact, the truth. The problem with us is we are conditioned to think that the world is real. From early age, through education and through different efforts, society conditions us and sort of brainwashes us to think that the world as it is real, it is independent, and there is no education at all to understand our awareness, to understand our consciousness, which is more fundamental in nature. So, we never think from the first principle stance. We always think from a place of conditioning. We have assumed that the world is real. We have assumed that this body is who we are. We have assumed that we are this individual identity, this body-mind complex. And we have never questioned this assumption and conditioning. This is the problem. Now, this AI model was specifically instructed to think from the first principle stance without referring to any studies or any data. And when we begin to think deeply, going beyond our conditioning without any assumption whatsoever, then this conclusion becomes very logical to us, very understandable to us, because it is true, right? everything that happens within our consciousness. You're watching this video right now. This video is an appearance in your consciousness. Your interaction with the world happens through consciousness. Consciousness is a medium through which we do things in this world, and everything happens in this world. So how can we ignore the medium and assume that the reality, the external world, is more real than the medium itself? This is the error that we do, and Vedanta calls this avidya. Avidya simply means ignorance. We are ignoring the medium. We are ignoring the fundamental aspect of reality, and we are concluding that something that we are experiencing through the medium itself is more fundamental than the medium. This ignorance is what we must come out of to realize the profound nature of reality. With this, let's come to the last part, that is the practical implications of all this. Now, like I said before, this is not theoretical, this is not an abstract philosophy, but this can be experienced firsthand. And why at all should we experience this? Because all of us wish to transcend suffering, and all of us wish to experience absolute fulfillment. And this is possible only if we understand the nature of consciousness. This consciousness is described as Satchit Ananda in Vedanta. This is existence, this is consciousness, and this is bliss. So bliss is also the nature of reality. Once we understand that we are not this body, we are not this mind, but we are the universal consciousness within which everything is, then all the separation, jealousy, competition, comparison fades away. All our craving fades away, because we will recognize the fullness of being and the infinite consciousness that we are. That is the goal. This is referred to as mukti in Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta offers a straightforward technique called Neti Neti to help us recognize consciousness as our true nature. Neti Neti is very simple. Basically, whatever is an object is not the subject. This is the simple truth that we must understand. So, as per Vedanta, we are the subject. We are the ultimate subject, and this ultimate subject is consciousness. And whatever is an object to consciousness is not that consciousness. So, through this understanding, we must begin to disidentify our attachments and our assumptions as who we are. Neti Neti means na iti, or not this. I am not my relationships, because my relationships are the objects and I am the subject. Like this, I am not my accumulations, I am not my wealth, I am not my attachments. All of these are objects. So I am the subject. Then we must come to our own body. I am not my body, because my body is my object. I always call this my body. My body can be mine, but it is not me. So, I am the subject, the body is the object, neti neti. And like this, we must go beyond. Then comes the mind. The mind is also the object to the awareness or consciousness. Then comes the intellect. The intellect is also an object to the consciousness or the awareness. Like this, when we peel off the different layers of who we think we are, we will come to who we actually are. This is the goal. We can sit in meditation and contemplation and simply begin to peel off different layers and accumulations, which will then lead to who we are in our essence. So what profound shift did you experience through this video, and how did this video shape your understanding about consciousness? Mention that in the comment below. And next, you can watch this important free training that we have created on conscious creation and how you can create your ideal life of true fulfillment through the ancient principles of Vedanta. So, check out this video next, and I will see you in the next one. Shivoham. Subscribe to Advaita to wake up. Shivoham.